Hey guys, it's Jordan from Two Guys in Traffic, and this might be the most traffic-friendly car we've tested yet. It's the 2019 Honda Civic, and it's basically perfect, we think. Let's give it a test.
Perfect, huh?
Okay, very good.
Yeah,
Excellent in many ways.
I only have one real complaint.
Mostly fantastic.
Completely satisfactory.
No, it's better than that.
I mean,
It's better than satisfactory.
I only have one complaint about this, and that's the fact that there's no blind spot wiring. You have just this side camera business going on. Other than that, really, I don't have anything truly negative to say about the vehicle. It just doesn't get me excited.
Well, yeah. It's a Honda Civic.
Yeah, exactly. It is a compact sedan commuter car.
They sell a lot of,
Perpetually.
and they're going to continue to sell more.
More of. It is a practical choice. It is one of the top thoughts when people have a need for just a commuter car. I need to get from A to B and do it economically. And in that case, this is a pretty good choice.
And have it start every single time I go out into the driveway.
Yeah, so at least by the numbers, the Civic is not an especially reliable vehicle. Not anymore. Honda's reliability numbers as a brand went down about 10 years ago. They're average. It's not unreliable by any stretch.
But most cars are more reliable than they were before, so average is better than it used to be.
Average is way better than it used to be.
Yeah.
It's just that in the past, Honda had this reputation for a super reliable car compared to the competition, and now they're just
The competition has gotten better.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is fine.
All right.
And
If you're looking for the really reliable, bulletproof option in this class, it's the Toyota Corolla. But, I mean, that comes with other compromises, and I think the non-reliability side of this car is actually more compelling than the Corolla.
yeah. So this has a lot of really nice things, and I'd say we start from the inside because it's where you're going to spend your time.
Yes.
Big dash screen.
Yeah.
Digital speed.
Yeah.
It's got a big leaf there to tell you that you're in eco mode.
Oh, that's important. I need to know I'm in eco mode.
Eco mode. And there's lights on top that you can't really see
Yeah.
that tell you how green you're being. So right now they're green, but if I plant my foot, they turn white and then they turn red.
To tell you you're being naughty.
To tell me I'm not being eco.
That's important.
Sure. But it does have my trifecta.
Yes.
Digital speed, temperature, and range to empty, which is 360 miles on a basically full tank.
Perfectly average.
Sure. If you're trying to get to work and then go home,
Checks the
it's
boxes.
great. And it tells me that my average fuel economy on this thing is 34.3 MPEGs, which
Is respectable.
is that good? What's our range say?
Oh boy. Oh boy.
What's the thing?
Of course they give us the cutoff piece.
No, it's
right
right
there.
there. Big letters.
Combined 33.
There you go.
30 city, 38 highway.
Okay,
That's not.
I can dig that.
Yeah.
From a something engine.
Yeah.
Look at the engine's on the other
This
side.
because they
So
decided to split this one. Yeah, 174 horsepower, which is not terrible
That's
for this
a lot
class.
for a tiny engine.
1.5 liter direct injection turbocharged 4-cylinder.
I can drink more Diet Coke than that.
Yeah, I mean,
That's a little engine.
it is a little engine, but it's got a turbo on it.
It's got a turbo, and it's got a CVT, continuously variable transmission, which can vary its way into mediocrity. It's fine.
Worth noting that this is not true of all the trim levels. The base trim does have a much slower engine. It is not Subaru Impreza slow, which is like next level slow, but it's slower.
It's fine.
Yeah, this is, again, perfectly adequate. You're going to merge. You're going to be fine. You're just not going to win races.
Yeah, I like it.
But if you're looking to win races, there is the SI and the R.
Yeah, you can spend more money. Other things this has, it's got all the acronyms. So up here it says ACC, Adaptive Cruise Control. It has LCAS, Lane Keep Assist System. I don't know. So you got to look at the list to see all the letters.
It's all part of the
has all
Honda
those.
sensing package, is what they call it.
Is that what they call it?
It's standard now.
Yes.
Yes, lane keeping assist system. So Honda Sensing includes those two. Collision mitigation braking system, CMBS, which is really just AEB, automatic
emergency braking. Why they come up with new names for all these things is beyond me, but fine.
Because the other guys have automatic
marketing.
emergency braking. We have collision mitigation.
It's totally different.
Lane departure warning, which is
Yes.
really not that different from lane keep assist, except
No, it's less good. Lane keep assist is better.
It is better. Road departure mitigation.
Yes, which is part of the lane keep assist system, where you hit the edge. So there's, we were talking about this the other day, actually. You have the lane lines, which the car will try and keep you in. Yeah. And then it will also see the edge of the road if there's no lane line and try and keep you from going off that. So that's even better.
Then there's forward collision warning to let you know you're about to be screwed.
Yes. So it will tell you that you're about to hit something, and then it will try and mitigate the fact that you're going to hit something.
Yes.
Which is all good. I like that.
I like that. Yeah. Very important to have.
Biggest thing it's missing, as you said, is a blind spot monitoring.
Yeah.
It's a little weird that it doesn't have that.
Yeah, it's actually a lot of weird.
It's a lot of weird. But over here, on the end of the turn indicator stalk, is a button. And on that mirror, there is a camera.
Yes.
That looks backwards.
Yeah.
And if you would like to see that camera, you press this button, and there it is. Objects are closer than they appear. And so it gives you a line.
It really makes me wonder why they didn't just put blind spot monitoring, because it's not rocket science to get from this to blind spot monitoring. It really isn't.
Well, and so you have the mirror, and then you have that, and this is like coming, because e-mirrors are going to be a thing eventually, where you won't have a mirror, you'll have a screen or something. I used one, a BMW prototype that had the rear thing up in the mirror, and you would look up here to see out the mirrors, and it was actually, after like 20 minutes, you sort of got used to it, but it was weird for a while.
So, but the problem with this is you have to be proactive about using
and hit the button.
Right. Which most people just have the blind spot warning as a, hey, look, it's yellow in my mirror, I shouldn't go that way. It's a secondary.
Or it bongs at you or something, and this one doesn't bong at you if you're going to go hit someone.
Yeah.
It just, you're on your own. So this is odd. This feels like something that we would see in a test car day of like, here, let us show you this technology.
Yeah,
and then
something that showed up at an auto show once.
Yeah, that's, we're going to show you this thing we're working on, but it's not going to come to market because it's not legal or whatever. See, because if this guy had blind spot monitoring, he would know that he's about to drive into someone.
Right.
I mean, he would still do it, I think.
It's a Honda, but so he doesn't.
Yeah. So there's that thing. That's kind of weird. I don't know. It does do a sort of lane centering. So if I hit that button, I gotta turn everything on here. There we are. And then I wait for a bit. It'll tell me that it sees the lane lines, and it will keep me in the lane.
Yeah.
Ish.
And right.
Yeah, it does pretty good. I tested on the way to your house, and it wasn't too bad. And I would, you could let go of the wheel for a moment, and it would keep the turn and everything. And so that was fine. And for a car that costs no, you can't use that one.
Oh, son of a gun. This one. Yes, this is better. I like this one better. Okay, so yeah, let's talk about price a minute. Because I got the press car with all of the things on them, $28,000. Now, if you go into the trim configurer, I'll be honest, I would actually drop down a level. I feel like this car, which starts at like just over 20, and then the trim below this comes in at like 24 or 25, depending on whether or not you want the leather. Those are
which
really...
is the EX.
Yes, the EX.
Yeah.
So this is the EX and the EXL, which is EX with leather. They're only $1,000 or so in price, which brings them 24 to 25-ish. That's a really strong value. I think even at the base at 20 and change, or those at 24, 25, there's a lot of value. But when you go to the touring, it's just like the stuff you get, I don't know, it's like rain-sensing wipers, heated back seats. I mean, if you got kids, you probably don't have this vehicle, and you probably don't care that their buns are cold.
Yeah, or you have this vehicle, but they're young kids, and so they're in a child seat anyway.
Yeah, I mean...
the only thing that really makes sense there is if you're like an Uber driver,
yeah,
I
I guess.
Or you're always hauling people around. I don't know. Rear heated seats never made a ton of sense to me.
No, I mean, you do with that trim get a power passenger seat, but once again, I never find that being something I'm so compelled that I need to pay money for.
Yeah, well, you got in this car, and you adjusted the seat.
Yeah.
And then what? You didn't touch it again?
No, and especially if you're not changing out passengers.
Well, even if you are, you're not. It's not like you're driving and you're like, oh, I need to move my seat to get it into the right position.
It's not. It's. I don't know.
Fine. Yeah, touring. I mean, well, you get the premium sound system.
Yeah. Okay. If you're a sound person, you do get the premium sound system.
Well, if you're really a sound person, you're just gonna rip it out anyway, because it's a Civic, and you're gonna.
Yeah. Well, to go from EX to touring, it's like $4,000 for the sound system and the power seat and the rear seats and the rain sensing wipers. I'm just not.
That's a lot of money on a $25,000
it's like a
car.
20% increase in price.
Yeah.
I'm not there, but I do think this is a super good value at the lower trim levels.
Yeah, and I like the interior a lot. The screen here's nice. You do have CarPlay, Android Auto. It's got nav if you upgrade to Touring. If you don't, you use CarPlay and Android Auto. So I don't know why you need nav.
Right.
Whatever.
Right.
It's got some other stuff that I don't really care about. There's not that much in the way of connectivity and things like that. Though when I plugged in my phone, it did say, would you like to turn on Honda Link or whatever, where if you get into a crash, it'll try and call 911 via your phone.
Okay.
So it won't do like OnStar where they call the operator.
Right.
But they will call 911 and then try and put it on speaker, and okay, that's a nice thing to have.
And for people who are used to the previous iteration of the Honda Civic, which was the same generation just before the mid-cycle refresh that happened this year, there are knobs now.
Yeah, so we got a button over here that can do auto climate, and then you can turn it to get higher or lower temperature, which is something we really like, that because buttons bad and knobs good.
And the volume adjustment is also a knob now, where it used to be a touch.
You got to touch it over and over and over and over.
That was
you
awful.
just go through the drive-through. You can spin it. That part's cool. You do have auto headlights and auto high beams and auto windshield wipers, because this is the Touring, and you got that.
So
yeah.
Other than that, I think the looks are, well, it's a Civic.
I like I think the Civic on the outside is controversial a little bit. I think some people like it and some people don't. I think it looks fantastic. I like the headlights. I like the rear lights. I think it looks really good, especially in this color, which is some blue.
Okay.
Aegean blue. I like the Aegean blue.
I love the color. It's very blue. I really don't care about the styling one way or another. It's not terrible. It doesn't really excite me either. It's there. It's a small sedan. Fine.
I think it looks good. I think it looks better than the other small sedans.
Okay, that's a fair point, actually. Except for some of the new Hyundais look really sharp.
I think it looks better than the other small sedans.
Okay.
But that's, and that's super individual, right?
It is.
So,
very subjective.
but I like it. And I like the interior, though there are some weird things about the inside. It's got metal pedals, which I kind of like. It's like, okay, whatever. But in this cubby hole down here, where my phone is plugged in, there's a hole.
Yeah.
And when you dive through the hole, it goes underneath. And there's a back underneath. And there's plugs and things down there, and a storage cubby, and some other stuff. And there's a USB plug, and there's a 12-volt power adapter where all our cameras are plugged in.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
And it's a little odd.
I think, all right, so if you're a person who changes out your cables and things, maybe you share this car with a couple other people in the household, that's going to get really annoying really quickly.
Yeah.
However, if you're just using this as a commuter car and you have the same cables plugged in all the time, it doesn't matter. It's actually, I think, rather convenient, just because you keep the cable plug stashed down there, and you can actually put like all your gear and stuff there, and just the same cable comes out, and there's a place for your phone. I don't think it matters.
So your phone's there. There is no good place for my sunglasses.
Okay.
There's no upper thing, which is kind of annoying. This bin is a little odd, because there's this sliding armrest thing here to let you get to the second cup holder. So if you want the armrest forward, you only get one cup holder. Then the cup holder can slide away, and you have this bin, and then this can lift up, and then you've got more bin, and this bin is pretty cavernous.
And another USB.
There's a USB port down there, which is the only USB port that's in this little cavern here. Is the only USB port that's convenient to the back seat. Because there's no USB port in the back.
Well, this is not a car that's designed for hauling kids with all of their devices in the back seat. It's not.
No, I can't cut them loose on that.
You're right.
USB ports in the back.
Especially for your Uber, there should be USB ports.
Yeah, there should be USB ports in the back, and especially because it has heated seats. And the buttons are in here. They're in the back of this thing. That there's electricity in this box. And so you should be able to put USB ports back there, and that's kind of unforgivable to me.
That's a strong words, but it is really annoying if you're going to put if you're going to have kids in the back. It's a complete deal breaker to a lot of people.
And this is going to be a teen driver car.
Oh, yeah.
Who's going to haul their friends around, and they're going to want to plug stuff in, and it's like, okay, you should have more USB ports. It's 2019.
This is 100% a teen driver car.
Two USB ports? That's not enough.
No, it's not.
I'm just sorry, it's not enough. how many did that RAM have? 11 or something? Yeah, it's 11 billion. So, okay, so they should have that. But fine. You got the 12 volt, you can plug it in and whatever.
There is an optional wireless charging pad for like $300, which is just a waste of money.
Which I assume goes here.
Yeah, because you're never going to use it because you have to be plugged in to use Android Auto and Apple CarPlay anyways,
Right.
So you're never going to use the wireless charging pad.
Yeah.
I have one. I never use it.
Right, because you plug in.
The shifter. Traditional shifter.
I like the shifter, PRNDS, because we go into sport.
Great.
That's exciting.
Every car should have a shifter like that.
Yeah, which is great because it's a CVT, so clearly putting it in sport really does something. And you got the flappy paddles, which you'll never touch.
Yep.
But I don't know what brake hold does.
I assume it's the automatic brake hold if you come to a stop.
Oh, brake hold system standby. Yeah, okay, that's what it is.
That's totally if you come to a stop.
I like that. I like
great.
that.
Yeah.
Only they call it brake hold, but all the other ones that I've seen, instead of having the emergency park button, it just has an H in it. This one has brake hold, which is odd.
Whatever, you'll use it. It's nice.
Yeah, it's great. The econ button. So now econ off. So now we're not being econed.
Okay.
And now we are being econed. I don't know what that does, but I would assume it changes shift points or something. I don't know. Leave it on, get better fuel economy, I guess.
It
I don't
dulls the throttle a bit.
Yeah.
So,
when I press that button, there's a little brake hold light that turns green over there.
Oh, goody.
Okay. And then there's another light underneath it that says hold that I would assume would say hold when you were being held.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah. So, talk about safety. I did check out the IIHS ratings on this before we got in.
Has lots of stars.
Green, it's good, really good all across the board, except the headlights, and whether you get the base or the upgraded LEDs, the headlights are all rated poor. Not even like marginal or acceptable. Poor.
Does it say why?
Because you can't see things.
No,
I mean,
but it does. They don't explain why it's poor. They just say it's poor.
Well, if you break down, you could probably read more than I did. There's some of it says glare and like it's just
Yeah.
The headlights are not great, and poor is a relatively rare rating from IHS.
Yeah, it's not great. And I will caveat that with I've heard from some other car manufacturers who think they have really good headlights that they have gotten bad ratings, and they question the methodology because the headlight ratings are new.
Yes, they are.
And so, I
they're like only a couple
take
years
them
old.
with a grain of salt and say, okay, they're still working out the kinks. Or it's stuff like it blinds oncoming cars, but you can see fine. In which case, okay,
Still
it's not
unsafe.
great, but it's safe for you.
Forget the other guy.
Yeah, if I had to choose between poor for me and poor for everyone, I would choose just poor for me, or poor for them, I guess. Yeah. Okay, fine. It's got heated seats. I do like the red engine start-stop button.
Small things in life.
Which is little. It's like, oh look, it's red. That's kind of cool. Kids will like that. People will like the red start-stop button.
Yeah, sure. It's red. Next.
That's all I got.
So moonroof, not panoramic, but it's there.
No. Well, the roof, it kind of curves sharply. I don't think you could do it.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah, and whatever. It's
this Honda Civic. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, for 20 whatever. So what do you get if you get for the EX? Do we say it was 25,000 ish?
25 with leather, 24 without.
Yeah. Okay. So say 25 grand because we'll splurge and we'll get the leather.
Yeah.
Why not?
Sure.
I think that's a really good price.
That
you
is
get
a good
lot
price.
You get a lot of stuff.
That's what I'm saying. You take it below in any of the trims below touring. It's a strong value proposition, and I would put money down that they don't sell very many tourings in this car. The average Civic buyer is a little more budget-minded, and they're going to go down trim.
Yeah, there's nothing really in that touring package that this has that really makes me jump out of it. The premium sound, I guess, but I haven't heard the other one. And I think, as with every audio system, if you have nothing to compare it to, it sounds great.
Yeah, exactly.
So once you use it, it's fine.
Yeah. You don't complain until you get into another car that's a better system.
Oh, this sounds better, yeah. And as long as it's got this screen, which I think it does, and CarPlay or Android Auto or whatever, then I don't care. Because it's got nav in this that you're paying some amount of money for. You don't need that. CarPlay or Android Auto.
Yeah.
Rain sensing windshield wipers. That's a little annoying that that's there. And I would almost wonder if in this box on the EX trim they have the sensor for it anyway.
But they're trying
and
to
it was a
upcharge
software thing? Yeah. Which if so, that's kind of lame, but fine. Whatever.
That's fine. It's still not $4,000.
It's not worth $4,000. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, as much as I'd like auto windshield wipers, I'm not going to pay $4,000 for the privilege of not touching this thing.
Yeah.
Fine. Steering wheel's a little odd. Over here is fine. You have a button that says main, which is for turning on the Honda Sense thing, which you should just
Never turn off.
Never turn off. Yeah, that's fine. This button turns on the lane departure warning, whatever, which is having trouble here because we have temporary painted lane lines that it's having issues with. ACC off on. There we go. Hold the button, you get 5 mile an hour increments, whatever.
Yeah.
I think, so on my drive down to your house, from my house, about 20 minutes,
Okay.
the closest adaptive cruise control distance is too far.
Yeah, so you get people cutting.
People
That's
cut
a
in.
common problem.
Yep,
Yeah.
it is a common problem. It's trying to keep you safe.
Yep.
It says here's the correct safe distance, but in traffic. So, I mean, this isn't too bad because we're going slow. And so it does bring you down to 0, and then it's setting us off again, which is, I really like that. It's very nice to keep you in sync. But, see, it's got a huge amount of distance. That guy slowed down a little bit, and the car is very aggressive with the braking. So that's a little, okay, whatever. This side is odd. This button, plus minus, is for the volume. But it doesn't say volume, it just says plus minus.
You'll figure it out quick.
Yeah. Over here, up, down, left, right, you'd think it would be for changing menus.
Yes.
Left and right is next track and previous track on the audio. Or if you're on the radio, it goes from favorite to favorite.
Yeah.
Up and down, what do you think that does?
Changes band.
Yes, it changes your source.
Yeah.
So you say, oh, how do I go to next track? I'll press up. Oh, now I'm listening to AM radio.
You only change that by mistake once an hour.
Yeah, and then you do it, and then you forget it again. Because on a lot of them, or up is volume and left right is track, which is what I thought it would be.
Right.
But no, there's a plus minus, and so I have to remember. Which again, it's not that big a deal because if you owned the car, you'd learn it quick.
Just get rid of the paddle shifters, which no one uses, and put them back there.
Well, that's what Chrysler does.
That's what a lot of manufacturers do,
yeah.
and it's super convenient.
Well, you do have a button there to talk to the car, which I think launches Siri if you have your iPhone plugged in or whatever, which is nice. Hang up your phone, pick up your phone, okay, whatever. Then there's a button to let you change between modes on the dash. So there's a fuel one, which shows you fuel to empty, which is where you should leave it. There's a turbo, and it tells you how much of your turbo you're using.
Well, you know someone is going to spec their Civic to do that.
Sure, that's what I want to do. You can do nav, where it'll tell you where you are and what direction you're going. And if you set the nav on here, it'll do something there. Oil life, 60%. Sure, okay, I want that. Music, phone, and then a quick switch to change between miles per hour and kilometers per hour, which has it's a digital dash you can do. Yeah. That's kind of nice if you're going to go to Canada or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, okay, that's all I got. Oh, you got HomeLink here in the mirror, and this thing feels a little wobbly.
Yeah,
this
so
is
let's
a little chintzy.
Let's talk about fit and finish for a minute here, because
I don't know about that.
There's some squeaks and rattles here that require violence to fix.
Well, there was only the one, and yes, when I was driving down, and then when you got in the car, there was a squeak or whatever over on that side. I couldn't figure out where it was coming from. Thought it was like the headliner. I thought it was the visors. It wasn't those. It was actually that trim piece on the A-pillar, which you made fun of me when I gave my suggestion for how to fix it, which was to whack it. But you whacked it, and that solved it. So
now it's quiet.
Trim piece needed to be reseated a little bit, so that fixes it. This got 3,700 miles on it, so it's not brandy new, but it's fine. And since it went away, I'm willing to cut them some slack on that.
Okay.
This is built in America.
Yeah.
Built in somewhere. I don't know. Look on the thing. Indiana, maybe?
Greensburg, Indiana?
Greensburg, Indiana. 25% Japanese parts. But the engine and transmission, I think, are both American.
55% U.S. Canadian.
It's pretty good.
All considered, that's a fairly American vehicle, to be honest.
So if someone says, oh, you're not buying a Honda, I mean, I think people still do say, oh, buy American, whatever. 55% built in America. Whatever. Unlike that 4Runner we had, which was built in Japan.
Yeah.
Or the Kia Soul, which was built in Korea. Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to tell now just by looking at a car to know whether it was built here or built overseas.
Impossible.
The badge doesn't mean anything
anymore.
anymore.
I think it's a distraction also because it's where is the money going? It's built in a factory mostly by robots, and that's not where the profits are anyways.
Yeah, but are they American robots?
Probably not.
Ugh.
Just being
Those
honest.
foreign robots. Made by the Germans.
Something like
Isn't
that.
Kuka's German, I think. I don't know. Yeah, so Honda Civic, I gotta say, for a commuter car sitting in traffic, good fuel economy, comfortable.
Gets it from A to B.
Yeah, gets from A to B. The price is right.
If you're looking for an economical commuter car, it's a good option.
Yeah,
It really is.
front wheel drive. There's no all wheel drive option,
Yeah,
but put winter tires on it, and it's gonna be fine.
If you're buying this car, you probably don't care terribly much about that, anyways.
Yeah, and it's gonna be light. It's gonna be great in the snow. Should be fine.
Not that much ground clearance, but if you're just doing commuting, you're never going through 8-foot snowdrifts, anyways.
Yeah, it's gonna be fine. Other than that, I mean, trim levels or trim bits are a little bit whatever, but it's $20-something thousand.
You're getting what you pay for. You're getting hard plastics. It's a Honda Civic, and it's low 20s.
Yeah, if you really want to get fancy, go buy an Acura.
Yeah.
And we'll have other complaints about it, but I think, believe it or not, I've driven more than 100 cars as a car journalist, like had them for a week at a time, sort of thing. And this is the first Honda I've ever driven.
Really?
For a number of reasons, this was the first Honda.
Okay.
And I'm quite pleased. I would have no problem buying one of these.
Keeping it when you want to just drive to work.
Yeah, if you want to get to work, or if you want to drive to work, first car, first new car for a lot of people.
For
very
a new
good.
graduate, this is an excellent choice,
Yep.
actually.
Yep.
New car out of college, done.
Safe, comfortable, great city car. It's going to be super easy to park.
Yeah.
It doesn't have park in or out or anything.
You don't really get that at this price point.
Yeah,
Usually.
you're not going to get those things. But I think the little blind spot monitoring would be a little helpful for getting in, because it'll show you where the curb is.
Oh, for
That's not going to be
parking.
too bad.
Yeah.
It's not going to be too bad for
Okay.
parking.
That is it. That's a good point, actually. There is some utility in that, but I want that with blind spot warning, because it's not rocket science to get from here to a light. Like,
monitoring.
it's really not hard.
And I got to think installing that camera costs more than just putting blind spot monitoring in would have cost.
Maybe. I mean, but
It's the same
you could
ballpark.
use this for the blind spot monitor, is what I'm saying. All you need is a light there that dings. It is like
Yeah.
machine learning 101 to say, is there or is there not a car in this
Yeah,
blind
it's going to
spot?
know. So it's going to look
Yeah.
and it's going to say, oh, here comes this car.
It tracks it. It does object tracking, and it comes up and it knows when it gets there. It's really easy.
Yeah, no, that's really the only big complaint is the blind spot monitoring, and sort of, if I want to get really nitpicky, how close it goes to the car in front of you when you're rolling in traffic. But even that, I can't get too worked up about. I don't know. I don't know that perfect is the right thing, but I think for a commuter car, this would get
Perfectly adequate.
No, it's way above that. I think this gets the two guys in traffic seal of approval.
Yeah, I would give it.
The commuting seal of approval. Yeah, I'm very confident and comfortable in doing that. So, yeah. On that note, if you think we're wrong about the Honda Civic, you're wrong, but you should still go to the comments and tell us about it.
We might even respond to defend ourselves.
Yes, because I'm sure we got lots of things wrong. But other than that, like, subscribe, hit the alarm bell button so you can get notified of
Every time we post.
new videos and things, and then you can tell us why we're wrong some more.
Great.
That's what the internet's for.
Yeah.
People go in the YouTube comments and say horrible things about you, and that's fine.
Yeah.
America. Yeah, Honda Civic 2019.
Redesigned or refresh year, rather.
Yeah, it's the one to get.
Fixed all the evil.
Yeah,
All right.
Good. Okay, that's it. We're gonna sit in traffic some more because that's what we do.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.